that pretty good?
Did it.
Oh, yeah. That was good.
Good morning, everyone. It is Monday again, and I'm back with update number 3 of my 2 challenges in the month of April, the 5 a.m. wake up and the no processed junk food challenge. In terms of waking up at 5, I think I have gotten the hang of it. I'm going to work on a video very soon with my tips and tricks on how to wake up early, but I think I have nailed it because the past, I would say 4 or 5 days, I've been waking up at 5 a.m. pretty much right when my alarm goes off. I will get out of bed pretty much immediately and just get started with the rest of my day. The only issue is I haven't been sleeping on time. So ideally, I'd go to bed at around 9:30 or so to wake up at 5 a.m. But lately with playoff hockey and also with Game of Thrones last night, which I was very excited about, I've been sleeping rather late, probably at around 11-ish. So I haven't been getting as many hours of sleep through the night as I would normally like. But because I have the freedom right now, my days are pretty much flexible. During the day, I try to make that up a little bit and I'll take around a 1-hour nap. Prior to this, when I was getting the full 7 to 8 hours, I wasn't napping, or I'd limit myself to maybe a 20-minute power nap. But because I've been only getting 5 to 6 hours of sleep every night, and sleep is so important, I've been napping during the day because I don't want to accrue too much sleep debt by the end of the week and just crash. I have been trying to wake up at 5 a.m. on weekends as well. I wasn't able to do it the first weekend in April, but this past weekend, because hubby and I didn't have plans with friends or family, I was able to go to sleep at a more reasonable hour, even though it was later than normal, and I was able to wake up at 5 a.m. this weekend. So that was awesome. I was very happy, very proud of myself. The weekend was a little bit of a hurdle for me because I wasn't sure at the beginning if I wanted to do 5 a.m. on the weekends as well, but now that I'm in the groove, I'm feeling pretty good about it, and I am going to try to continue every single day for the rest of the month, and we shall see how it goes. In terms of the no processed junk food challenge, that has been interesting. I am hungry all the time, as I talked about in my previous video, and I've noticed that hubby and I are eating a lot more cheese. And with the cheese comes crackers or bread or something along those lines. I haven't really been reaping the benefits of losing weight per se or trimming up. I did put on a few pounds over the holidays and over the winter. I would like to trim up a little bit and go back to where my body was prior to Christmas. So that's something I'm going to be working on over the next little while, but very gradually, nothing too extreme. Now that I've noticed we're eating a lot of crackers and bread and cheese, I eat a lot of dried fruit, and that's very, very high in sugar. I'm going to try to scale back a little bit. I'm going to try to replace those things with more fresh fruits and vegetables. I've also been experimenting with different whole grains. So this morning I made teff, which is the smallest grain in the world. It's a very interesting texture. When you cook it, it's almost like porridge. I also used it in some tuna today. I've been trying not to buy as many of those cans of tuna that have flavors in them already. Instead, today I tried to make my own. There's this flavored tuna that hubby and I both really like. It's basically like a spicy Asian style peanut sauce. I decided to try to make that myself and it worked out pretty well. It doesn't look like the one that you buy in the can. It's a lot more dry in texture, but the flavor is very similar. or at least based on what I can remember because I haven't had it in a while. In that tuna salad, I guess you would call it, I also put a few spoonfuls of the teff just to ramp up the nutritional aspect of it because teff is supposed to be a powerhouse in terms of nutrition. I also want to try sprouting brown rice. Let me know if you guys have tried that before. I have some brown rice right now and I think it would be interesting to try to sprout it. Apparently, if you sprout grains or rice, it unlocks a lot of the nutritional value. That's kind of the premise behind Ezekiel bread, which is a bread that's made out of sprouted grains. So that's something I'd like to try, but I'm gonna need some sort of sprouting jar, or I'm gonna read up on how I can do that. So here is what the teff looks like. It's the traditional grain of Ethiopia. I made a bunch of it this morning and it does solidify kind of like polenta. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna heat it up with some unsweetened vanilla almond milk. I'm just gonna pour a little bit in here. I'm also going to add some honey for sweetness because when I cooked it this morning, I just did it in water. So it's basically just water and teff. All right, so I just microwaved it for around 45 seconds and I gave it a quick stir, and this is the texture. So I could probably add a bit more almond milk, but I think I'm just gonna eat it like this. I'm gonna top it with my usual stuff that I top overnight oats with. Here is my first meal of the day. It basically looks like a bowl of strawberries. I only cut up 5 strawberries, but I guess a couple of them were huge. I also added a tablespoon of hemp hearts, a tablespoon of ground flaxseed, and a tablespoon of pumpkin seeds. So let's give it a try. When I asked hubby what he thought, he said it was okay and that it didn't have a lot of flavor, and I would tend to agree. I used to eat all bran buds, and when I was cooking it, it kind of has that scent, but it really doesn't have a whole lot of flavor. Let me try a bit more with the strawberries and all of that. It's good, but I think right now I prefer overnight oats to this. Right now I'm thinking I would very rarely make this as porridge just because overnight oats are so easy. I do like it and I think I would use it to bake with. Jury's still out on this one, but I'm gonna finish my breakfast and then head out to the grocery store. Hey everyone, I just got back from the grocery store, so I thought I would do a little Freshco haul. Freshco has been one of my favorite places just to walk to get my steps in, and also to pick up groceries that are a little bit of a lower price. I also enjoy looking at the different international goodies there. Hubby and I are very much into hot sauce lately. Hubby's been watching this show called Hot Ones on YouTube. It's basically a spicy wing challenge combined with a celebrity interview, and the one with Scarlett Johansson was very entertaining. I really enjoyed that one. So we've kind of been on this hot sauce kick. We're not hardcore hot sauce junkies. Our spice tolerance, I would say, is pretty mediocre. I can tolerate a bit more spice than hubby, but I'm still a lightweight, I think, in the grand scheme of things. But we've just been really into it because when you watch people eating, you naturally want to try it yourself. So over the weekends we went to Wilbur and they have this entire display of different hot sauces that you can sample. We got takeout as we normally do. Hubby ended up picking 3 hot sauces and only one of them was pretty spicy. There was some heat, but still not too bad. That one was called 85% Pain, and the show we were watching had a hot sauce called 100% Pain. So it was from the same line, but hotter than the one we tried yesterday. Anyway, all that to say, I had a good time at Freshco today, just looking at stuff, and here's what I picked up. Hubby and I have been talking about Chicago lately, not to go, but just reminiscing. Hubby might actually go with one of his colleagues, but we're not too sure yet. One of the things that we've had there is the Chicago dog. If you guys have had it, you'll know that there is celery salt on it. So I decided to pick up some celery salt. This was kind of my impulse buy. I'm gonna Google what else I can use with this because I don't plan to be eating a lot of hot dogs in the near future. This is the item that I needed, Parmesan petals. I use this in risotto risotto and also in a garlic shrimp pasta that I really like to make. I'm not sure what I'm making for dinner tonight. Part of me wants to do Mexican night again. If you follow my Instagram, you will have seen that we did shrimp fajita / tacos on Friday night, and it was just so delicious that I kind of want my Mexican fix again tonight. And part of the reason I want to do Mexican again tonight is because I made this huge bowl of refried beans in the Instant Pot, and we still have this much left. I eat some pretty much at every meal. I didn't have some today because I had the teff, but this stuff is so good. I bought some more flour tortillas. These are whole wheat ones. I like corn tortillas, but hubby doesn't, so we typically just go with the flour tortillas. And I bought another bag of oranges. I have been obsessed with oranges lately. The last few things that I bought, I didn't go too crazy today. I bought a couple of clamshells of arugula, and I also got some more spring mix because we are all out. One of my favorite things to do now to get more vegetable intake is to reduce the amount of grains that I eat and replace it with some sort of spring mix or salad or whatnot. I think I've shown this in a vlog before, but what I do is I put a heaping mound of mixed greens or spinach or arugula, some sort of like raw green, in the bottom of my bowl, and then I put maybe a little scoop of grains on top of that, whether that be rice or farro or millet, and then I put whatever dish I made on top, whether that be the lentil curry or maybe I made a meat dish that I could put on top. The hot food starts to wilt the greens a little bit, and I just have that as a big bowl. I like having the greens on the bottom because it tricks me into thinking I'm eating a lot more. I used to put my rice or whatnot at the bottom, and hubby and I would eat so much rice and so much meat and sauce and very little vegetable. So I'm really liking that as a little hack to get more vegetable intake. The other thing that I'm doing is when I do grains, I actually use a very small serving spoon now. I used to use something like this to serve the grains, and now I just use a regular spoon. What that does is it makes us use more effort to scoop the grains into our bowl because we have to scoop it so many times, and I think we eat a lot less versus using this huge serving ladle, which if you fill it twice, you've got quite a lot of grains. Whereas 2 spoonfuls using something like this is probably the proper serving. All right, so I'm gonna take a photo of the groceries for my What I Bought This Week series, and then I'll be back a little later to chat more. I felt pretty good once I got home from grocery shopping. I find a walk and some fresh air always does that. It wakes me up a little bit because I was getting a little bit sleepy after I had my first meal, but now I am sleepy again. I just recorded a video and I'm about to start editing. I want to wait until after Lulu has her dinner to take my nap. She typically eats at 3 o'clock, but she starts staring at me waiting for dinner at around 2 o'clock and sometimes even as early as 1 o'clock. She's looking at me right now. She's waiting by the door behind the laundry basket. Let me flip you guys around so you can see her. Yeah, not sure if you can see her there. Oh yeah, there she is. So she is staring at me and she will do this until I feed her. Sometimes she's so bold that she comes up behind me and starts like scratching me, or she just like comes close and sits right beside me and she just stares at me. So I'm gonna try to ignore her. She's watching me right now. She usually doesn't really fuss when I'm filming, but if I tried to nap now, I wouldn't get any rest because she would just stare at me and maybe jump on me and potentially paw at me. She's not too bad with me, but sometimes she does it. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is edit my video, feed Lulu, and then I'm going to have a nap because I must stay up tonight to watch the Leaf game. It is game 3 tonight, and I'm hoping for success. Oh, I'm wearing these earrings today. These are earrings that I got from the Randolph Street Market in Chicago way back when. Oh, I just realized that I'm having like a Chicago thing lately. When I was looking at my collection, I was thinking of potentially decluttering them, but now that I've worn them for the majority of the day, I really do like them. They feel great on. They're not heavy. I think they're really pretty. They've got kind of like a retro vibe. I think they would match a lot of outfits, so I just really, really like these. Won the hockey game. Yay! Hubby and I ended up eating in front of the TV tonight. We did the shrimp tacos again and everything was delicious. We normally eat in the kitchen, but for big game nights and for Oscar nights, Super Bowl, that sort of thing, we have dinner in front of the TV instead, so we don't miss any of the action. That is going to be it for today's vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be back in a week's time with my 4th update. I did end up taking around, I think, a 2-hour nap today, so I'm feeling pretty good, but I am gonna try to get to bed in about half an hour or so. It's 10 p.m. now. I will see you guys very soon. Bye!